Il a feint sa propre mort pour toucher son assurance vie avant de fuir au Panama avec sa femme. Voici l'histoire de John Darwin, surnommé le Canoe Man.
I thought I was worth more dead than alive.
He was crazy enough to be both quite scary, but also quite funny.
We weren't thinking as normal, rational people.
He kept on having unbelievably stupid ideas, except they kept working.
Nous sommes en mars 2002 dans une petite station balnéaire au nord de l'Angleterre. John Darwin, marié et père de 2 enfants, disparaît en canoë au large de la mer du Nord.
He didn't go into work. He waited by his window looking out to sea. He was already dressed in his wetsuit and he had his canoe by the door. And he waited until he saw some people walking up the road. So he knew that when he walked out with the canoe, they would see him.
He went out in the afternoon, which is quite unusual for a canoeist because darkness is going to come pretty soon. And he did sit waiting in the canoe for some time before he pushed himself off.
He needed people to be able to say, oh yeah, I saw that guy going out in his canoe.
Rapidement, les recherches s'organisent pour retrouver John Darwin.
There had been a massive search for him. 50 men and women went out looking for him.
The conditions were quite calm, actually. There wasn't a ripple on the water. We think we searched every nook and cranny in Tees Bay. Apparently, we were told we searched around about 200 square miles of sea.
Les secours découvrent l'épave du canoë sur une plage, mais John Darwin reste introuvable.
There was a lot of press stuff from when he first went missing. Ordinary man, canoes, paddles out to sea and never comes back.
After the inquest, Mrs. Darwin's family brought her back home. Her sons comforted their mother on what they must have presumed was a difficult day. What they didn't know was that their father, who had just been formally declared dead, was in fact hiding upstairs.
Already arranged everything with his wife, what the plan was going to be.
I worked out the details and then presented them to her. And of course she didn't want to go along with it at first, then she went along with it.
She picked him up in a car park by about 7 o'clock that evening. She then drove him to a train station and he got a train across to the other side of the country. He'd ring his wife regularly from a call box. He had food and supplies. He had a disguise as well that he would wear when he went into the local town to buy food. And then 3 weeks after he disappeared, he returned home.
Alors que John Darwin est déclaré mort pour cause indéterminée, il vit en réalité dans une maison juste à côté de la sienne. Sa femme peut désormais toucher les 250 000 livres de l'assurance vie, soit environ 300 000 euros.
I treated the crime as basically borrowing the money of the insurance companies.
Les Darwin ont des revenus modestes. Anne est secrétaire médicale et John est un ancien professeur de mathématiques reconverti en gardien de prison. Mais le couple vit au-dessus de ses moyens. John roule dans un Range Rover à 60 000 euros.
He was crazy enough to be both quite scary, but also quite funny. Almost always not intentionally.
Les Darwin sont étranglés par les dettes depuis qu'ils ont acheté plus d'une dizaine de maisons pour les mettre en location.
He hatched his plan because he couldn't bear the idea of going bankrupt because of what everyone would think of him.
When you're in the situation we found ourselves, threatened with county court, we weren't thinking right. We weren't thinking as normal, rational people.
I think he's indisputably a narcissist. I would say that he had psychopathic tendencies. He really struggled to understand other people's emotions, and it was a very egocentric worldview that he had. He felt that he should have done better.
Après avoir passé quelques années caché dans la maison mitoyenne, John Darwin planifie de refaire sa vie à l'autre bout du monde sous une nouvelle identité, John Jones.
He got a false passport. He used the same technique as in the film Day of the Jackal.
He got the identity of a dead person simply by, again, checking up on a death register. It's accessible on the internet. You can then select someone whose age is comparatively close to yours. You could then get the birth certificate. Once you've got the birth certificate, you can get onto the electoral roll, and you can get other documents in those names.
Sous sa fausse identité, John Darwin voyage à travers le monde. Il décide finalement de s'installer au Panama, petit pays d'Amérique centrale à la fiscalité avantageuse et sans traité d'extradition avec le Royaume-Uni.
In 2005, a wealthy businessman turned up here looking to buy a luxury yacht. He called himself John Jones. Intriguingly, the £1,000 deposit was transferred from Mrs. Darwin's account.
De son côté, Anne Darwin vend ses biens immobiliers en Angleterre pour acheter un appartement au Panama, plus un terrain que le couple souhaite transformer en école de canoë.
He perceived that it was quite corrupt and that he could move money there and that not too many questions would be asked. But in typical John Darwin style, he didn't really do his research fully, him realising about 3 months into their stay there that actually he couldn't get citizenship and nor could she.
Something went wrong in Panama. For some reason, John Darwin flew back to the UK last December and walked into a police station. He claimed he had amnesia and that he could remember nothing of the last few years.
He kept on having unbelievably stupid ideas, except they kept working. I think he thought he could get away with anything.
La réapparition de John Darwin en 2007 passionne les médias britanniques qui le surnomment Canoe Man. Mais la version du mystérieux ressuscité est rapidement mise à mal.
He was literally undone by a woman googling John, Anne, Panama, and that photo came up.
Sur ce cliché pris 1 an plus tôt au Panama, Anne et John posent fièrement aux côtés d'un agent immobilier. La photo fait la une du Daily Mirror.
I read the newspapers and watch the television myself, and members of the press have been updating us on a regular basis, and I would thank you for that.
Inculpé pour faux et arnaque à l'assurance, John Darwin plaide coupable.
I knew I would have to pay the money back. I came back really because I have 2 sons and I wanted to be part of their lives again.
Anne Darwin est arrêtée à son retour du Panama. Lors du procès, elle assure avoir été manipulée par son mari et contrairement à celui-ci, elle plaide non coupable.
It was too hard for her to admit that she had knowingly told her children that their father was dead.
Elle est finalement condamnée à 6 ans et demi ferme, soit 3 mois de plus que son mari. En prison, les Darwin divorcent et sont finalement libérés en 2011 après avoir remboursé l'ensemble de l'argent indûment perçu. Anne Darwin vit aujourd'hui à York en Angleterre et a repris contact avec ses enfants.
I think they managed to forgive their mother. I think it was really hard. They will ever forget what she did. I don't know whether they forgave their father because I don't think he ever really expressed sincere contrition. I think he was not capable of a heartfelt apology.
Depuis sa sortie de prison, John Darwin a refait sa vie aux Philippines où il s'est remarié.